Appreciate you all being here this morning. Very, very excited about the opportunity that we have opening up division rival. Obviously, I'm new to this division, so I've been hearing, what it's all about, the intensity that it offers, but most importantly, the fan base here. So excited to get ready to go in the U.S. Bank, expecting it to be a packed-out crowd. It's going to be electric, going to really make it hard for the opponent to communicate verbally. So we'll see how well they can communicate from a nonverbal standpoint. But we see that as a big-time advantage for us. And, we finally get an opportunity to put all of our techniques and fundamentals and our schematics to the true test. And me as a coach, it's my job. I preached it back in the spring, the simple approach with the aggressive mindset. And I've been telling my guys that just the entire week that, I'm going to keep the game plan really simple, but we're going to have that attack mindset. And so going into it, we've kind of just been building up through the training camps. And going into it week one, we're going to be able to put it on display. Open up for questions.
Hey, Matt, what can Jalen Reagor give you guys at that punt returner spot?
Jalen. So I was salivating over this guy when he was coming out of college back in 2020. Between him, CeeDee Lamb, and Brandon Ayuk, I had those guys really at the top of my list as the top punt returners coming out of that group. And honestly, Reagor was number one in my book. What he offers is an immediate guy that spooks the punt team. He can race. He has the speed to race for the edge. He can attack you vertically. He can beat you with speed to the edge. He's a guy that's very confident back there. Just getting to know him since he got in last week, he immediately approached me saying, "I want to be the guy." I'm like, "You're the guy. You're the guy. You're the guy." And he immediately wanted to start connecting with his blockers. I thought that was really important. So for a guy to come in with that attitude and that mindset and wanting to connect with his blockers, get to know them, we already kind of had a lot of meetings where we started talking what he likes to do, so that the schematics align with what his strengths are. And so, just for him to come in and do that really shows a lot just in terms of who the person is and how he goes about his work ethic and what his process looks like. And so we've been getting extra work before practice and after practice on just working catches, working on setting up the returns. And so I like where he's at right now. He's a guy that's going to be a problem when the ball is in his hands.
What spooks the punt team about him? Is it mostly his speed or just kind of
Well, you see,
overall?
the thing is, so you really could see Jalen as a dual returner. I mean, he has the ability to be a kick returner as well. And honestly, he's a lot bigger than, not necessarily bigger, but more stout. Like, he's a very stout, cocky built guy. He's not really narrow. He's got thick, strong legs, big glutes, really nice calves, Again, I salivated over this guy. And so being able to see him in person, you realize, like, man, this guy's got some weight to him. He's really hard to tackle. He has the ability to make you miss. He's elusive, but obviously he has the home run speed to take it the distance. And so, that's what makes him so spooky.
How did you sort of assess his situation in the playoffs last year? We had a couple of muffs there, and I know that's a small part of the overall
Absolutely,
package,
it is. And you look at that kind of stuff, and I'm big on asking my returners, what is their process before the ball is punted? Because obviously, maybe not obviously, but there has to be something that you're thinking as a returner. Are you seeing it off the foot? Are you telling yourself to beat it to the spot? Are you telling yourself, make sure I'm squaring this ball up? Are you anticipating where the football is actually being punted? Because a lot of that is pre-snap looks. All right, do we understand, is the punter offset to a certain, looking at the hit chart prior to the week? Okay, is it outdoors, the wind? There's just a lot of factors that go into it that we have to make sure that we understand in order to beat the ball to the spot for us to secure the catch. And Devin has to drop balls. Josh Cribb drop balls. And what we can't allow that to do is affect our confidence. And so maybe as a confidence kind of got affected a little bit last year in that playoff game, whether it been, I don't know, the coaches, this and that, a lot of outside factors. And so I think it's just important for me to dig into just a little bit more to how mentally tough this player truly is.
What's the biggest reason guys muff punts, in your opinion?
I think it's just either A is traffic. They get spooked by gunners being near their feet. Obviously, guys don't like men around their feet. I think that's probably one of it. Or they misjudge the turning of the ball, so whether the nose is falling down. I don't want to get into the, how that all works, but, whether it's the nose coming down or the nose coming up, and they kind of misjudge that, or maybe the wind is a factor, or they don't have their elbows collapse how it should be, or they're trying to pay attention too much to what the cover is doing, and it's just a lack of focus.
Is there different systems that he has to adjust to when it comes to that, or is it pretty much kind of plug and play?
Yeah, it's plug and play for sure. So again, as soon as he got in the building, he came to me. We dang near just ended up just kind of meeting right each other. I was like talking to somebody, man, I need to see Jalen Reagor. And as soon as I walked out of coach's locker room, he was right there. And so immediately I asked him, hey, what do you like? What do you want to do? He told me. Went up in my office. I kind of showed him what we did last year from a schematic standpoint, and he kind of said what he likes to do. And I told him, okay, these are the type of blocking techniques that we do have in place. All right, we're gonna work it out how you want to. And so yeah, it is. It's a little bit. It's a good mutual understanding between the two of us, and I like where we at.
It's like your kid at Christmas, right? Getting a present
A new
kind
gift.
of right before the
Yeah, got a new
season starts.
gift. New gift. Santa came late.
Look at him at kickoff return, or is that too much to do in one?
Yeah, we're just gonna focus on punt return right now. I think we're set at the kick return position until, I think we're set at the kick return position.
You said you asked about their process. Do you want them to follow something specific, like your specific instructions, or are you more enhancing like what they previously learned?
Definitely, I think it's more of a enhancing aspect, and so I always like to hear what they have to say first if they do have a process in place, and I can give them just from my history of being with different returns on maybe how they might have approached it, and if you like it, perfect. If you don't, and so you want to work out on what works best for them. But most times than not, I try to give them a couple tidbits pre-snap on what they're trying to identify, what they're looking at, and how they're able to beat the ball to the spot.
What was your initial reaction when you found out he was coming over here?
I was really excited about it. Obviously you look at it, former first round pick, whether it was however you want to see that. But again, I knew this guy coming out of college. I wanted him personally when he was coming out, and so 2 years later, you look at it, and now I get an opportunity to coach this guy, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
Anything else for Coach? What do you like best about Ryan Wright, especially so going into his first games, going against
First
the Packers,
game.
he's going to be thrown into the fire. What do you like about him that holds up that way mentally as well?
I think the biggest thing with Ryan Wright, and we just being quite honest, the biggest pressure situation that he faced this year was that Denver game, right? Where, we made a decision to release Jordan Berry and basically said, okay, here's your opportunity, man in the arena, let's see how you perform on the stage when it's just you. Technically there is a lot of pressure on you to see if you can get the job done. And I'm sure everyone saw how the Denver game went, and he answered the call. And so how he goes about it, man, this guy works so hard. And you can just see it even from when I was watching him from in college. You could see just that same guy showing up, and obviously he's really starting to tap into his potential. And I'll say it again, I think Ryan Wright has a top 10 leg talent in his league. And it's just for him to just start understanding the small nuances of how the NFL works. Obviously, it's a lot different in college. Understanding how the rush, where the rush is coming from, how we have to offset him a little bit in order to avoid his stepping into a rush. And so the little small nuances he's got to clean up. Rookies are going to be rookies. But I don't think any moment is too big for him.
Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate y'all.